Hi all, welcome to the webinar, A Day in the Life of a Network Pen Tester by CyberSapiens. I welcome you all. So it's still 6:28, so we'll again, it's not 6:30. So still we'll wait till 6:35 for everybody to join. And once everybody is there, and we'll start, okay? So I request you guys to be just patient just for 5 minutes, okay? Thanks, guys. And I hope my video and audio is clear. Just give a thumbs up in the comment section if that's possible. Okay, so that I know like my audio and video is clear. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, Akhil, for the confirmation. Thanks, Robin. Okay, still 6:29. It's 6:30. Officially, we have started the webinar, but all of you guys who have joined on time, kudos to you guys. You guys are like literally very good. So thanks for being on time. Okay. Mr. Dheeraj, I request you to open your camera and microphone just in case. Okay. Yeah. So
Hi, sir.
it's officially 6:35. Hi, Dheeraj. Glad to have you here. And I can see we have more than 47 people joined here during this webinar. So they are all excited. I request you to start this webinar as soon as possible. And yeah, over to you, Dheeraj.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Welcome everyone. So good evening, whoever have has joined this webinar. So first, let me introduce myself, and after that we'll begin with the session. Hello, good evening. I'm Dheeraj Prabhu. I'm a senior security analyst at CyberSapiens. I have completed my CEH, certified ethical hacker, CAP, certified AppSec practitioner, and Qualis certified specialist certification in VMDR. And I provide training and mentoring for the cyber security interns. I have monitored and mentored a few batches of cybersecurity, and also I provide cybersecurity consultation in network security and network VAPT. So first, we'll briefly introduce my team and my company, and then we'll begin with the topic. So, who are we? So, we are Cyber Sapiens, and we are cybersecurity experts who are committed to securing the digital world. And we are in different locations. We have branches in Bangalore, in India, and we have a branch in Australia, in Melbourne, and in Canada, we have a branch in Ontario. And we provide services for the businesses and organizations. So we are ISO certified company, and also we help or assist the organizations and companies in getting the ISO certification. And we mainly provide VAPT services for different organizations, and it covers cloud VAPT, mobile application VAPT. We have network VAPT service. We have web application VAPT, and we also provide API VAPT. And we also cover different other aspects, different other domains of VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. We cover infrastructure, IoT security, thick and thin client security, and other VAPT as a service. And we have SOC analysis and malware analysis as a service. And we also provide assistance in GRC, that is governance, compliance, risk management. And we provide phishing and malware simulation as a service. So we have our product called FishCare. It is used for phishing simulation. We provide the phishing simulation for the employees, for our clients. And then we provide assistance. We provide assessment for them. We provide awareness in the phishing and other aspects of phishing. So this is what we provide with the product FishCare. And next, we also provide cybersecurity training and employee awareness. So this is for students, faculties, and also employees of different organizations. So you can visit our website to know more about what different services we provide. Or you can choose in that, and you can connect with us. So this is about our company. And let's begin with today's topic: a day in the life of a network pen tester. So we'll discuss on how a network pen tester will work on each day, how he will proceed with his day in working on different projects in network security and network VAPT. So we'll discuss about theoretical overview. We'll cover what is network VAPT and network pen testing, and then we'll see how a network pen tester will plan his project, how he'll try to complete it, and different challenges faced during this phase. And we'll see what are the required skills and certifications for being a network pen tester. And then we'll discuss about some career insights. So first, we'll discuss about what network pen testing is. So let's first see what penetration testing is. So penetration testing is a simulated attack or a cyber attack on our target before the actual attacker will try to do it. So why we do this? We do this because we want to secure our system, secure our infrastructure, secure our network, and so on. So when we do this simulated cyber attack on a network or other devices in the network, then we call it as network penetration testing. And the purpose and importance of doing this network pen testing is we try to identify and exploit vulnerabilities in the network, applications and systems present in the infrastructure, and protect the organizational assets or data in the organization. So this is what we do for network penetration testing. And let's discuss about different differences between network pen testing and other pen testing, which can be web API, cloud, or any other pen testing, which covers different domains. So we have covered a few of the topics in these already in previous webinars. So you can go through that and watch our video and see what they are about. Okay, so you can learn more and see what are the difference in each of the field. But we'll just briefly discuss about the main differences. So one is scope and target. So what we are targeting on, what covers in our scope. So in network pen testing, we cover about network devices. It can be switches, endpoints, servers, router, firewall, and other devices which are in the network, which comes under the domain of network. And other pen testing, we cover about those materials. It can be attributes like web applications or other applications like mobile, and it can be cloud, it can be API or Android. So based on this, the target and scope differs. And next is objective. So what we are going to do and what we are going to find in this. So first we try to find different open ports, services in the network, and we'll also try to identify the versions of it, how we can go around about it, and we'll try to identify the common vulnerability indexes, CVEs, and we'll also try to exploit them, or we'll try to test whether we can get access into that and whether we can perform the attack on that. And in other penetration testing. What we are going to do is depends on what we are covering. In web applications, it can be directories, URLs, it can be tabs, it can be session management, and in API, it will be API, and in cloud, it can be instances in cloud, and different applications. And also, we'll try to work on the sessions, how the session works, how each login works, and different functionalities work in those applications, and we'll also work on the configurations. So these are the objectives. And when we come to the methodology or what we do in the network pen testing, it will be vulnerability assessment first, and then we'll do the penetration testing. So we'll try to assess whether a vulnerability is present, whether we can exploit it in the vulnerability assessment, what are they, and then in penetration testing, we'll try to exploit them, or we'll try to attack on the target and see if we can actually perform the testing. And in other instances, in other VAPT or penetration testing, we try to perform the fuzzing, authentication bypass, authentication testing, misconfigurations, and injections, and other vulnerabilities, which will be covered in the applications. So this is about how we go for the methodology. And next will be skills required, or what we need to know for performing network pen testing. So we need to know about the networking, we need to know about the devices in the network, and other things present in the network, configurations. We need to know the operating systems which are used in the endpoints, servers, so on. And we need to know about security tools, how to use them, how we can work around it. And for penetration testing, get the to create the tools, or to create the scripts where we try to exploit it, we need to have a basic knowledge of some languages like Python, so which will be used for creating the tools. And in other penetration testing, we need to know about the web technologies. It can be API protocols, cloud platforms, mobile operating system, which are related to the respective penetration testing domain. So these are the differences, or we can say some of the categorization, which can be specific for network pen testing, and some for the other penetration testing domains. So next will be how the day goes for network penetration testing. So there are different phases here. We follow that so that our project will be completed easily, or also successfully. So first we try to prepare and plan. So that's the first step. And then we go for information gathering. We perform the reconnaissance scanning. And in the third phase, we perform vulnerability identification, assessment about the vulnerabilities, and then we try the exploitation in the fourth part. So after this exploitation, then comes the reporting as the fifth phase. And after that, we'll perform the follow-up, and we'll see how we can learn more about it. So this is the typical day structure for a network penetration testing. So we'll go on about these one by one. So first we'll discuss about preparation and planning. So what we're going to do in the preparation and planning. So first we'll review the client requirements. We're going to discuss with the clients and see what is the scope here, what we need to perform on, what our target is, whether it's white boxing, black boxing, or gray boxing, whether we have some particular devices, whether we have a complete network as our target. So we are going to review about the requirements, what they are looking for, whether they are looking for a VA or vulnerability assessment only, or whether they are looking for the penetration testing as well. So these are the things we do at preparation and planning as a first step. And after the scope is completely or properly configured, then we go for setting up the testing environment. So here we try to gather tools which we require, and we'll also see the objectives, what we need to do here, and planning about the testing. And as the last step here, we communicate with the team, which we work on here, and we'll clarify the objects and expectations. We'll see what the team needs to do, who will be handling the phases, who will do the testing, who will be working on the reports. So these things will be clarified in the objectives, and what we are looking for, that will become coming under expectations. So using this, what we are trying to do is prepare for a setup where we'll have all the things to perform network VAPT and penetration testing, and give the clients the best results there. And after clarifying with our objectives, then we go for information gathering or reconnaissance. So here we try to gather information, and there are different methods here. One is passive reconnaissance or passive information gathering. So we are not going to directly approach the target. We are going to gather information using different tools, or it can be gathering information indirectly using social media or different queries or web applications, which will provide details. It can be who is lookup, gathering information about the target, and getting into reconnaissance. So here it differs from other type, because this is used for black box testing, where we got nothing to work on, where we have to start from the beginning and know information about the clients. Then we have to start from here. And also it only applies for the external network. So if the network is external and publicly available, then we can do this. If it's internal network, then we can't perform this, because it's not the information might not be available readily in the internet. And next step next type is active reconnaissance. So here we'll directly approach the target and see what we can get there. So here we'll perform the scanning on the network, or we'll scan on the device which are in the scope, and we'll try to identify different information about the target basically. So we'll try to identify the hosts or the devices in the network, and it can be open ports and services which are hosted in those devices. And using this, we try to gather the information about the internal network. So this is specific to internal network, and we can also perform the active reconnaissance for external network as well. So this is the main step where we gather more information. So let's go to our lab and see how we can do this. So I'm using Kali Linux as my attacker's machine, and I have different tools here. So I'm going to use some of the tools, and first to get the information, I'll be using Nmap or network mapper tool. So I'm entering into root terminal, because I want to give all the permissions present and not have any restrictions while performing the test. So basic thing we can do is using Nmap and scan for our target, and gather information about the open port services and so on. So I have situated one of the target here in our environment. So I have got the IP of it. So let me just ping it and see if I can actually establish a connection with it. So we are getting the results here. So we are getting the ping. So we can actually connect with the system, and we can approach the system. So let's consider this IP address 192.168.68.81 as our target. Okay. So let's say the client has given us this particular server as a target. So it has different services which it's hosted there, and we want to test on them. So we'll see, we'll take one example, and we'll see how we can work around it. So I'm going to go to Nmap. And as a basic command, let me type the IP address. So I'm going to specify the target here. So I have specified the target, no options. So I'm going to just scan for it and see what result I get. So basically it will show whether there are any open ports present and whether those ports have any services in them. And I will also get the MAC address of it and some details about the network. So this is what I get for the basic information. And I want to elevate this and gather more information about it. So what I'm going to do is let me just give aggressive scanning option here, and we'll go back to the PPT, and we'll come back again when it's relevant. So let me scan for it in map, and I'll specify the IP address. And I don't want to specify any port here. I just want to get the information from aggressive scanning. It will scan for all the possibilities present in the Nmap. It will scan for the open ports. It will scan for the services, and it will check whether any enumeration is possible, whether we can get any more details about the target. So I also want to perform the version scanning. So I'm going to specify the option -S. Sorry. Okay. So I have kept it for the scanning. So it will take some time because it's scanning for so many details and gathering so many information. So let's come back here after some time. So this is what we do in information gathering. Okay. So the third step is vulnerability identification. So here what we're going to do is first we'll check all the information we got from the previous step, which is information gathering and scanning. And using those information, we'll try to identify whether we can get any vulnerability in that, whether there are any flaws in that, misconfigurations in the system or the service. And that's what we are going to do in vulnerability identification. So we prefer manual analysis. We can perform automated scanning, which where we have to use some tool which will be performing the automated scanning. It will have all the tools present in it, and if we just specify the target, it will scan for all the things. So we prefer manual analysis because there might be some errors, there might be some false positive results present in those automated scanning results. So we prefer manual analysis, and the steps can be something like this. First, we have gathered information about the port services and enumerated the information about those services. And after that, in vulnerability identification, we're going to look for banner grabbing or detecting the version. So we can get the version information about the target or the service in the previous step itself when we perform the Nmap scanning. And banner grabbing is nothing but checking whether we can connect with it or connect with the service we are targeting on. And after that, what we're going to do is we'll check configuration weaknesses. If there are any flaws in the configuration itself, whether it's using default configurations, whether they have made any customization to elevate the security. So this is what we're going to check in vulnerability assessment or identification. And after that, we'll go for patch level verification. And this is specific for automated scanners where it will have different patches or updates which will implement the proper remediation for it. So we'll see whether we can find it or not. That will be for the automated scanning. So here we'll go for the configuration weaknesses, or we'll check about misconfigurations in the system, and we'll try to identify different other vulnerabilities. So this is what we do in manual testing. So let's go for the result we get. And this time we'll discuss on this more. Okay, so we'll discuss on what we got here. So you can just ignore these things, and you can start from here. So we got information from this point, and we got the services here and state of those services, whether it's open or closed. And here basically it will just show open, and here we can see one of the ports which is closed. Okay, and open means we can try to access it, or it have a chance to get access to it. Okay, that's what open means. And here we got enumerated for the versions. We got the versions of different services. We got FTP, file transfer protocol, and we got the version of it. So why version is important? Because each version will have an update or a patch implemented in it from the previous version. Okay, let's consider this. Here we have 1.3.5, and if there was a version previously called 1.3.4, it might have some vulnerability, and they have patched it in this particular version. Okay, so when we get some when we find some device which has 1.3.4, which is the previous version of it, it might have some vulnerability present in it still. So we want to exploit that, or we can exploit it. So that's why we want to check the version, because we can identify different vulnerabilities which are specific in that. And here we have different other services. And here we can see the port, and we need to know about the port number, because it is important when we test on different exploitation. So when we perform exploitation, we have to specify the port number and the host IP, which is this, the target IP. So we need to know the port number like this. So we need to note down, or it will be default. So when you work on it, practice it most of the time, you'll by default, you'll get it. And then these are the information we got from aggressive scanning. So here it tried to gather the SSH host key using one of the scripts. So Nmap has this script engine where it will enumerate different information, where it will scan for different information which are not in the normal scanning. So it will try to enumerate some information which might be readily present and not identified during normal scanning. So here you can see we were able to enumerate the information about the host key. So it might be, we can consider this as information disclosure in a lower level. Okay, it can be used for many purposes. It can be used to identify the devices. It can be used to identify what kind of algorithm it used, what we can do with that, and so on. So again, it applies for all the other ports and services present here, and it gathered different information about each port and gave us the result. And if we go down here, here we got the MAC address of the target. Okay, so this will be important when we perform the sniffing and other attacks or other tests. Then we need to gather information through the MAC address. So it will be important where we have to specify the device itself. So we have to gather that information. And then it also performed OS scanning or operating system scanning. It basically tried to identify the operating system of the target. So if you have seen the previous scanning where we just provided the IP address, we were not able to get this much information. So here what we can do with that. So let's say there is one operating system which is in Linux. Okay, so we have a service in Linux, and it might have different functionalities. And if the server is in a Windows, then it might have different commands, different options, different applications present in it. So to test on these different instances, we need to know what operating system it's using, and based on that we can formulate our methodology. So that's why we need to gather information like this, and we need to gather more information and all the available information about the target, so that we can perform our next step, or perform the exploitation or vulnerability analysis more easily and successfully. So we might not, we should not miss out anything, because even missing one part might be vulnerable, and one part might affect the client severely. So we need to make sure that we are identifying all the information and performing all the scannings. And we got some information about the host also. We got the name of the host. It's Ubuntu 14.01 version operating system, and it's Metasploitable 3 lab. So these are the results we got, and there are other information about different other services. So yeah, so this is what we need to do in information gathering and scanning, and through this we can elevate the step here. So what we can do with this? So as per working here, we can't cover everything, so we'll just focus on SSH service, which is a remote secure shell which is used for getting the remote access for the system securely. Okay, so let's try to get more information about it and see what we can do with this. So what we can do here is banner grabbing, or we got the version here, and we'll see what more information we can get about this particular service. So we are going to use telnet. So telnet is also one of the remote access service, and if we specify the target and port number, then we can get more information. We can get access, or we can get connected through the application. So we'll see what we can do here. So I'm going to specify the IP address, which is 192.168.6881, and the SSH port number was in SSH port number was 22. So I'm going to specify that. So here it's trying to connect with that. Okay, so we got the result. We got the error. So let me just ping the system. Okay, so I think there is an error in the system. So let me just yeah, give me a minute. I'll come back so that we can work on it. Saurabh, just give me a minute. I'll just look into the host and I'll come back in a minute.
Yeah, sure, Dheeraj. No worries. Guys, let's just wait for a minute or two. Okay, there seems to be some technical difficulties in the backend. Okay, so for a better experience, so that we can show you that example, okay, we need to check what's the issue. So just bear with us. Till then, guys, if you have any confusions, if you have any questions, I'll paste the Q&A session link, okay, in the chat. You can go there, and during the webinar itself, you can post your Q&A questions there, okay, which we can refer to and answer after the webinar, okay. So I request you guys to put up your question and post your questions there, okay. I'm sharing that here. Okay, so I've shared a link. So just go there and post any question, any query that you have regarding the webinar, the topic, your career-related queries. You just post it there. Okay.
Hi, Saurabh.
Yes, Dheeraj.
Yeah, we figured out the solution for it, so we can
Okay.
continue. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry for it. Yeah, let me just continue with it. Yeah, so we got information about our target. And here we try to connect it. Since we are situated in a dynamic network, it changed its IP after some time, after the logout of time. So let me just ping the new IP. Okay. We'll just try to scan and see if we can ping it. Okay, we got our device here. So we have our target present in IP 192.168.6874. Sorry about the change earlier. Yeah. Now we'll try to connect with the telnet service. So there are different other services as well. We can also try to connect using SSH command itself, but let's just try with a different one. 68.74.422. And now we got the connection. Okay, so it connected with the SSH service, and here we got the version of it. So we already seen it in Nmap. So now we can confirm that it's the device and we are able to connect with it. And why version is important? Again, we can gather more information about already present vulnerabilities about this particular version. So sorry, yeah, it is very important to identify the version of it. Okay, so this is the banner grabbing, and now what we can do. So to identify the vulnerabilities, there are different tools. Okay, we can use search exploit. So as you have seen, we got open SSH 6.6.1 even as the version of SSH we are targeting on. So there is a tool called search exploit. What it will do is it will try to check whether there are any already present exploits for this particular version or any keyword we provide. We can also look for FTP if we are targeting FTP. If we are looking for a specific version of FTP like 3S FTPD, we can specify that, and it will show all the details for that particular keyword. And now we are targeting SSH, which is open SSH. So I'm gonna specify open SSH 6.6.1. So this is the version we got. Yeah, and we got some results. Okay, so we got user enumeration for the versions ranging from 2.3 to 7.7, which comes under this. And there are other vulnerabilities, user enumeration, and there is a use privilege separation disabled. So we can test these. There is agent protocol arbitrary library loading. So these are different vulnerabilities or exploits we can try on this particular version. And another method is to we can go to Google. We can gather information there. So what we need to do here, we can just type open SSH 6.6.1, and we can just search about it. We'll gather information about this particular version, and as you can see, we got information about the vulnerabilities itself. We didn't just get the information about this particular version and this service. We got details about the vulnerabilities. Okay, so you can open this and check what it contains. And here the CVEs are listed. Okay, so this is the vulnerability ID, and this is already identified vulnerability. So what we can do, we can cross check if it's present or not, and we can provide the remediation for it. We can provide the patches for it for the client. Let's go back to other one. Okay, here we have Tenable website. So Tenable uses Nessus tool to identify these vulnerabilities, and Nessus tool is used for automated scanning. So here we can get more information about automated scanning results, and we can connect whether we can work on this or not. So here it says, yeah, let me come from here. Its SSH server on remote host is affected by multiple vulnerabilities. So it just generalized this and says there are different vulnerabilities, and it has listed those vulnerabilities here. But if you have seen, it's for prior to 6.6. Okay, it's not for 6.6.1 because it's the later version of the one which it's covering. So what we can do, we can go back here, and there are different plugins, and there are different services present, and we can choose what we want to look for. Okay, so we can do this similar thing in other websites as well, but here it's more structured, so I'm gonna show here. So let's go for SSH. Okay, we got some vulnerabilities for SSH. SSH commands ran with privilege escalation. There are different information about it. You can check these using these IDs, and again you get these information about it. You'll get the description. You'll get what it is, and if there are any vulnerabilities present related to that, if there are any exploits related to that which you can use in attacks, then it will be listed here. So this is what you can do, and you need to note down CVEs, which is very important in providing the vulnerability analysis. So we need to note down the CVEs present for it and what it is. Okay, so this is the main information we need to do in vulnerability analysis. So this will be for manual testing, and we can connect automated testing here. So what we can do, we can we can run the test of analysis in automated tools and gather information there, and we can try to connect with them and see if we got the same results in both the tests, then we can confirm it. So this is what we do in vulnerability analysis, and this is one type of project by itself. So this is called vulnerability analysis only, but it doesn't contain penetration testing. So here what we do. Okay, so after this, after gathering information and other details about the vulnerability we identify for a service, then we do the risk evaluation and prioritization. So how we go about fixing it. Okay, so first we'll do assess the impact. We'll see what impact it carries, what it will do to the user or to the service itself or the system or the complete network. It might affect anything. So we'll see what impact it carries, and then we'll evaluate the likelihood of it. So we'll see whether this vulnerability is readily exploited, whether it can be exploited easily, or whether it needs something else chained to it, like some vulnerabilities might contain a chain to it. So we'll see how we can work about it in the exploitation part. But here we'll just know that this is what we do. We'll try to evaluate the likelihood of getting that vulnerability exploited. And based on this likelihood, we'll prioritize the risks. So we'll list the high priority at the beginning. We'll try to provide information about these things to the client, and we'll tell them that that's the priority in fixing. And after that, they can go about the low level priorities. So this is what we do in vulnerability analysis. And this is the third step here. And after that, we'll go for the exploitation. So here, the penetration testing part comes. Here, we are going to actually test for the vulnerabilities, and we'll confirm whether those vulnerabilities present or not. And then we'll try to actually access, and we'll try to exploit those vulnerabilities. So first, what we will do. So we'll select and execute the exploit. So exploits are nothing but the piece of codes or scripts which are used for elevating or leveraging a particular vulnerability. If there is a vulnerability present, we need to exploit it or we need to test it. Okay, so there should be something which we can confirm with that. So we are going to use the scripts which will have different commands in that. Based on that, it will act, and we'll call it exploits. So first we'll go about the vulnerabilities we already identified so far, and then we'll use different tools like Metasploit, or we can use Netcat, or we can use different other tools in Kali Linux, and we can also perform exploitation using custom scripts. And then what we will do, once we exploit the vulnerability, and let's say we got access into the system. Okay, we are inside the system, we can access everything in the system. Then what we can do, we can do the network pivoting. So what we will do, so let's say we found one of the vulnerabilities where it's disclosing some information about the users. Okay, so it's listing out all the usernames, and what we can do after this. So we can check what passwords it might contain for these users. If there are sorry, if these passwords are listed somewhere in the network because we got the access to it, and there might be some information or some sensitive data for these users present in it. So that's what we are going to do next. So we'll try to explore deeper into these vulnerabilities, and then we'll try to maintain the access by creating some backdoors or sending some payloads to the system, and keeping the connection persistent. So we're going to present there until all of the scanning and all of the testing is completed. We just don't want to get disconnected after one attempt. So we want to be there. So we might create backdoors which will be giving us access completely, okay, or it will give us the persistent access. So this is the list of some of the specific exploits present in it in Metasploit framework. It's specific for MySQL. We'll see how we can work on it with an example later. But you can just see each of these. Okay, here it's trying to enumerate the service, MS MySQL enumeration, and here it's trying to check the login, whether we can log into it, and it'll try to attempt the login, not just check whether we can log in. And also it'll try to detect versions, and it'll try to gather information about the SQL generic query and so on. So you can see that the index here is 30. So there are 30 keywords or 30 indexes for this keyword itself, which is MySQL, which I have searched. Here you can see that it's highlighted. Okay, so we can say that there are hundreds of, or there can be hundreds of modules or hundreds of exploits present for one particular keyword. So what we need to do, we have to specify what we are trying to access. So that's how we can specify our target, specify what we are looking for, and then perform the testing. So let's go to Kali Linux. Yeah. So our target is SSH, which is for getting remote access, right? So what we are what we are gonna do here is try to get access remotely. So how we can do this? We can use SSH, and we have to specify the username here, and then we have to specify the IP address, just like it's showing in the backend. But we need to identify what username and password it's using. Okay, let's try to access it with a normal one. We'll try to check whether this user is present. It's a default yeah, it's a default username which can be used, or which will be available when the service is installed itself. Okay, it's not at all changed. So we can just check if this particular username is present or not. 192.168.68.81. Sorry, sorry about that. I changed the IP address. Okay, we will give S for connecting into the SSH service, and now you can see that it's asking for a password. Okay, so we don't know the password because we haven't done anything about gathering this information. Okay, so what we can do? So there are some tools which will try different combinations of usernames and passwords, and give information about them readily. Okay, so we are going to use those. So let me just cancel this. And there are different tools in Kali Linux, and the one I'm going to use here is Hydra. So Hydra is a tool which is basically used for brute forcing. Okay, if we have a list of username and passwords, or let's say we know the username and we just want to test for the password, we want to get the different combinations of it, and see if a particular keyword is acting as a password. Okay, we just want to get the actual credential. So we can use Hydra for that. And we have to give different options here. So let's discuss about them one by one. So one is -L, or list, where we are specifying the list of usernames. Okay, so we'll specify the username, but before that I have saved default credentials in different files. So let's try to access them. Here I'm listing it. So I have a password.txt and username.txt. So let's see what these are. Okay. So let me give cat command and username.txt. And you can see root, user, admin, administrator, Ubuntu, anon or anonymous. So I have added vagrant here because the device which is used here is configured by vagrant. Okay. So I'm just using it as the default credential, checking default of access, and there are other services as well. So we might find different other details here. So what is the idea behind trying default credentials? So let's say there is a service we installed and there is nothing changed about the configuration. Okay. So it's like you're having a mobile which does not have a use password for it as a lock. So why say so? Because let's say somebody is having a password, but they just kept it as 1 2 3 4 1 1 1 1, which are guessable and easy. Okay, so anyone can try these things readily. So if you give it to someone and try to check the password, they'll just give 1 2 3 4 as the beginning. Okay, so that's the idea here. So if these are using default credentials and not changed those credentials, then we can get access to that system. So we have to test for this vulnerability. So to test whether this is present or not, we can use Hydra. So again, in password, there are different default credentials like same as these, and along with something like password 1 2 3, so on. Okay, so let's go to Hydra. And here I'll specify hyphen capital L to specify the username and username.txt. And if it's becoming bold, then you can say that the file is present and it's accessible. Okay, so we can readily get the file accessed here. And if it's not, let's say, let's make an error here. Now you can see it's not bold. Okay, so this is the easier thing we can do. We can identify different things in Kali Linux terminal. So you can work around it and see what are the different things we can get using color codes. Okay, and next one is -p to specify the password list. So I'm going to specify password.txt. And now I'm going to specify the target, which is 192.168.68.74. Now we have to specify the service we are targeting on. So which is SSH, and what it will do. So it will have all the combinations from username and password, and it will check all these combinations. It will check, it will try the first username and first password, first username, second password, like this, and so on until it gets the actual credential, and until it will get the scanning completed. So we'll just wait here and see if we can get any data or information here. So if there are any default credentials, it should identify that because it's trying all these things. It's sending requests continuously, and it's trying different combinations and seeing if the combination of username and password is actually working or not. So if it works, it will show us here like this. It was able to detect two of the credentials, Ubuntu, Vagrant. So the name is not important here because it can be identified easily. We can just Google it and see what are the different default credentials for a particular operating system or for a particular version. So that's why we need to do the information gathering thoroughly. Okay, so also you can see that it has the same username and password as the credential. Okay, there is no change. So if somebody is trying to access Ubuntu, they don't have to think much about the password. They can just try the same thing and they'll get the. That's the idea here. So this is one of the vulnerability where we got the information, which is default login credentials. Okay, so it's a broken authentication vulnerability. where there is nothing changed, the configuration is not at all changed, and anyone can, sorry, try to access it. And now we'll try to access it through SSH. But before that, I want to discuss about one more vulnerability which is related to that, the similar one here. And what we did here basically is try different options. Okay, try different combinations of username and password, which is in these lists, right? So in the backend, what happened? It sent multiple requests, and it got the correct one, and it showed us the result. So that's the thing happened in the backend. So that can also be a vulnerability if it's not blocking these kind of requests, right? So to test that and to get the confirmation, we'll access Metasploit framework. So we'll go to MSF console. Okay. So as you can see, there are different exploits, there are different modules in Metasploit framework. It is used for testing different exploits and exploitations. So what we can do here, so we can search. Let me just clear. Search, and we can provide the keywords. Okay, SSH. We are testing for SSH, and particularly login, and it will show all the modules present for it. It can be exploits, it can be auxiliary, which is for enumeration and scanning. And we can choose what we want based on the versions. We can specify our versions here, OpenSSH, and we can get version specific modules or specific exploits, and we can choose it. Okay, so the one I'm gonna target is this one, which is auxiliary scanning for SSH login. Okay, so what we can do, we can copy paste this. So I'm gonna use this particular module like this, and it will enter into that module, and we can specify different options. We can specify different attributes, and we can customize our exploitation module and perform it. So what this one particularly do is it will try to again do the same thing as Hydra, which is trying different combinations specified for it. Okay, so let's check the options using show options. And we have to specify the R host, or it's the host IP of the target. So we'll specify that first. So set R host 192.168.68.74. And here you can see verbose is false. Okay, so it's not going to show us what's happening in the backend. So let's keep verbose as true. Okay, now what we are going to do, we have to specify the username, or we can specify the password, and we can specify the files as well. If we want to specify single entity, we can choose these options, and if you want to specify the files or list, we can choose this option. So since I got the username, I'm gonna just specify one of the username. So set username Ubuntu. And next, I'm going to specify the pass file. Okay, so I'm going to specify the password file here. And again, I'm going to choose the same file we got, which is password.txt. So the idea here is not getting the access, but to check whether it's blocking or not. So as a security feature, it should block these requests which are repeatedly sending the same thing. So what it's doing, it's trying different login credentials in the same option. So it should block it by default. And if it's not blocking, we can consider it as a no rate limit vulnerability, where it's not providing any rate limiting, or it's not blocking the request when it's sending multiple times. Okay, so I have specified this, and let's give run. It's running the exploit here. It's trying to scan for it. And here you can see it's showing failed, but it's actually performing the attack here. Okay, so the idea is to get if we can identify the credentials, and along with that, whether we can perform the scanning and see if there is rate limiting present or not. So again, if we have specified the user file as well, it will try all these combinations, and we will get the access to it. So this is the idea here, to identify another vulnerability, which is no rate limit, and we have specified verbose here, because by default it won't be showing all these things, whether it's failed or success. It will just show this one where we got the access, and if we didn't get access, it will just show that we didn't get any access. So this is for the recording purpose. When we report these vulnerabilities, we should have the POC or proof of concept, where we have to show that we have found these vulnerabilities. Okay, so that's why we need to check the verbose on whenever this type of exploits is working. So this is another vulnerability, which is a no rate limit. And since we have already gotten the credentials here, let me just try in SSH login. Okay, so we'll try to access SSH, and we got the credential Ubuntu at 192.168.68.74. And it's asking password, and the password we identified was Ubuntu. So I'm going to type that. And yeah, we got the access here. We got the remote access of that particular machine through user Ubuntu. So we can check different details here. We can check the details about the system, kernel, and other information about the operating system like this. And we can see what are the options present here, what level of authority it's giving. So this is another vulnerability where we got the access itself, but let's try to elevate it and see if we can get more information, if we can get the elevation or escalation, if we can get the root access. So I'm gonna type sudo su, and it's asking for a password for Ubuntu. Let's give it. And as you can see, it shows Ubuntu is not in the sudoers files. So it's not going to give root access to Ubuntu username. Okay, so what we can do here, we can change the user, because we got another user here, which is background. So we can change the user and see if we can get access there. So I'm going to use su. Let me just check if we can clear it. Okay. So su, and the one we got is vagrant. Okay, it's asking for the password. We got the access here. So the idea is to check if we can get the root access. So sudo su. Okay, as you can see, we got the root terminal here. So we can access any files, we can modify any files in this particular device, and we got the highest privilege here. Okay, so this is the idea about privilege escalation. So this will come in the next part, but this is what we can do. These are the things we need to test when we get the access to it. Okay, so let me just go back to the PPT. So these are the steps for exploitation. So these are not just the steps for exploitation. I'm just doing it for SSH in one particular manner. There are different other techniques. We can choose any other exploits present in Metasploit and see what results we get. We can gather information like previously we got the host keys. We might get other keys, public keys, private keys, which are present in it, and more information about the data. More information about the users, or it can be about the system, and so on. So next is reporting. So here what we will do, since we have performed all these tests, exploits, and other things, first we need to do is clean up these things. Okay, so whatever we have done, there will be registries, logs, and other things. We have to remove those. If we have tried any exploits using backdoors or payloads, we have to remove those. Any files we have copied there, or any files we have used any applications we have ran, we have to remove those things and restore the settings. We have to keep it as it was given to us. Okay, so this is the ethics we have to follow, and this is the main step we have to follow after all these testings. And then comes the reporting. So we have found different vulnerabilities, like we have found low level information disclosure, and we have identified broken access control using default credentials. We have identified no rate limit, and we can go on about it, but let's just consider these examples. And then what we need to do, we need to check these severities. So what is the level of severity it carries? So we have to check what impact it carries on the system or the users, and based on that we have to give a severity level, whether it's critical, we need to fix it immediately, if it's high, medium, or if it's low level, and based on that the report will be crafted. And there are different informations we have to include in the report, which will be detailed findings, assessment, proof of concepts, mitigations. We have to add the impact description. We have to add the steps to reproduce, so that the client can also check that whether it can be repeated, and they can confirm from their side. And also we need to add the mitigations or recommendation steps to patch that. So this is the steps in reporting. And next comes follow-up and learning. So we will be reporting this, and we'll give a brief explanation about these findings to the client. We'll show them what we need, what they need to do after this. We'll provide remediation steps, and then we'll let them apply those remediations patches and come back to us for the re-audit. So that will be remediation testing. So here we'll perform all these tests we have done, and verify whether these applied fix are properly configured or not, or whether the vulnerability is again present or arriving in other form. Okay, let's say you have fixed vulnerability A, and it might be resulting into vulnerability B. So we need to do all the scannings, all the steps we have done so far again in the re-audit, and make sure that everything is fixed. So this is where we will be stopping the project and giving the confirmation that the project is closed. So we'll consider it as closed. And next comes developing ourselves. So let's say there is one vulnerability identified newly. Okay. And if we don't know that, we can't provide the information about this. We can't give the assessment about this to the client. So the project will be incomplete with that. So we need to develop ourselves. So we can participate in CTLs, different competitions. We can participate in different hackathons, or we need to practice wherever we can. So we have to make sure that we are up to date with the recent vulnerabilities. We are up to date with the tests, tools, and also we can attend different courses and certifications, so that we develop ourselves and grow our skills more. And this is about how we work on these projects. This is how we'll plan and then complete the project until it's closed. And now discuss about different aspects of network pen testing. And we have used some of the tools previously, but we'll just go through some of the tools, main important tools. One is Nmap, where we scan for the network, and Wireshark, where we try to gather information about the network packets, network traffic, where we sniff the network traffic and gather information about the data packets. And then Metasploit, as we have already seen, we can perform different exploits. We can gather more information and test different exploits. And SearchSploit, where we check whether we can find any possible and already identified exploits. And then Nessus is one of the tool where we carry out the automated scanning. So it will be completely automated. Everything is completely situated in place. We just have to give the target and we can get the results. But here we have to confirm it through manual testing, because it might give some false positives, or it might give some false results which are not present just because of some unknown error. So we have to make sure that everything is proper. And then netcat, it can be used for accessing, similar to telnet, where we have tried to access the system, try to connect with the system. We can use netcat. Telnet also is another tool. And then etacap is for sniffing the data packets and trying man in the middle attack. So it's one of the attack where we can spoof the users and server. And then aircrack engine. So this is the tool used for wireless hacking for Wi-Fi and so on. So these are some of the tools, not all the tools. You can go to Kali Linux, or you can research online and identify any tools which you find, and just work on them, practice on them, and see which one will work for you. So that you can have a list of tools which you'll be using in your methodology. And next is challenges faced during network pen testing. So there are different challenges we might face based on the client scope. It can depend on the scope. It can depend on other aspects of the project. So let's discuss about some of them. One is time constraints. So it's not actually a problem, because when we plan and prepare at the first step, we need to look about these things. So we need to confirm how many days we are going to take, what will be the duration, and how we are going to proceed in that, how what timeline we are going to give into that, and using that we have to follow that. And if there are changes, we have to keep updating the clients about it. And then keeping up with the new technologies, we have already discussed on how we can keep up with the new technologies. We can participate, we can practice on our own, and we have to be up to date on new information or data about the phase we are practicing. It can be network security, it can be web application, it can be any other thing. We have to be thorough, and we have to keep up with the new things coming up. And specific for network pen testing, it's evading detection of firewall and IDS, IPS, and other security layers. So what we can do, there are different tools for it. We can use Nmap scanning. There are different options to evade the firewall, and we can get results through that. We can also use other tools. We can use the encoders, which is one of the module in Metasploit framework. And also we can encrypt whatever we do, and we'll try to bypass these security layers. So these are the things we can we will be facing when we perform the network security pen testing. And we can also mitigate them. We can also overcome them, and we have to just stick to the plan and work on it. Then required skills and certifications. We need to have some prior knowledge on what we need to know. We need to know about networking fundamentals. We need to know about networking devices, protocols, IP address, MAC address, and other keywords, informations which come under networking. Because when we are working on network security, we need to know about the basic thing, which are fundamental, so that we won't be having any issues later on. And we need to have knowledge about different operating systems, so that based on the client, based on the project, we should adapt to it. So there won't be any crude and constant methodology. We have to adapt based on the requirement and based on the scope. So we need to know about these things thoroughly. And next is certifications. You can go for CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker. You can get these certifications. It will cover basic things about ethical hacking and some aspects of network security. You can work on it. And also you can take any certification about networking. Okay, CCNA is there. You can work on it and get your networking fundamentals done, and then go for CEH. And after that comes OSCP, Offensive Security Certified Professional. It's a high level certification, which is very tough. Okay, so you need to have proper experience, you need to have proper knowledge, skills, everything. So this is what you keep it as your goal. Okay, so when you work on this, when you start practicing, OSCP should be your goal, but what I suggest is don't focus on the certifications. Try to develop your skills. You can get other courses, you can get information, you can work on these things, and you can prepare yourself, develop your skills, and be prepared for working on the project. So this is what you can do. And next we'll discuss on career insights. So we'll see what will be covered in entry level, what the analyst should do. So basically, he'll be doing vulnerability analysis, vulnerability assessment, as we have discussed in the first phase, and then he'll be scanning for the targets and vulnerabilities and providing the updates. So this is what L1 or level 1 or entry level analyst will have. And for advanced level, L2, L3, they will have penetration testing, they'll have reporting, they'll be having a vulnerability management. We'll discuss on it. They have to connect with the client, discuss with the client, plan everything, analyze the reports which are from the entry level or L1, and provide the guidance for the client and also for their team. So this is what advanced level analysts will do in network pen testing. And next concept is ASV scans, or approved scanning vendor scan. So what this is we have discussed about Nessus, and there is another tool called Valis as well. So what it will do? So PSI DSS is a compliance standard. Okay, it's for a payment card. So whatever organization or whatever company is using payment cards in them, integrated in them, they have to follow these set of rules in PCI DSS. So what they suggest is to do the scanning using a vendor continuously. There will be durations here. So they'll have to regularly perform the vulnerability assessment management. They have to work on the patches. They have to work on the everything in a regular time. Okay, so it can be 1 month period, it can be 2 months, it can be quarterly. So this is what they will do. So when you actually perform, or when you want the certification to be done, audit to be done on network pen testing, it will be for 6 months. Okay, but here using PCI DSS standards, these tools like Qualys and Nessus will have to be done continuously. So this is another scope in career. If you know network pen testing, you can also look for the uh, companies or organizations which are having these kinds of standards implemented in them, so that you can work on these tools, get their certifications done, develop your skills on these tools like Qualys, Nessus, and then you can go into this another stream uh, where you have to complete the VMDR, or vulnerability management, detection and remediation, which will be regular. So this is another aspects of career which you can offer if you know the network pen testing. So this is about the process of a network pen tester, and yeah, we didn't actually cover all the aspects of practicals here. We only brushed up on the practicals. So if you want to know more about the practical aspect, only work on the practicals, see different aspects of it, see different options in it, and see how we can work on it. We can situate another webinar on the practical aspects of network VAPT. We can only work on the practicals. And what we will do is our team will give you a poll in your WhatsApp group or any other means. And if we reach a certain point, if we reach a certain number, we'll provide the practical aspects. So this is about network pen testing. And based on this, we provide different courses, and we cover different aspects of vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. And we have different domains we cover. So the course we provide is called Cyber Fusion. Okay, so it's a fusion of different domains in the cybersecurity. So we have web application API, mobile application VAPT. As a specialization, we have network VAPT, cloud security, SOC, Security Operations Center, GRC. So these are the domains we cover in this cyber fusion course. And it's not like you'll have all these things but not anything advanced. Okay, so we cover basic concepts, we cover advanced concepts, and also we'll give you specialization for it, and you can opt your specialization and choose what you want to work on. You can develop your specific skills. And about network VAPT, network pen testing, what I suggest is if you're looking for a particular job, if you're already in the IT field, if you're already in the network engineer field or other IT related field, you can opt for network VAPT, which will be very best to elevate your skills from IT to cybersecurity. If you are already into that field, you can opt for it. And if you're fresher, we prefer you go for web application API, mobile application specialization, which covers all the basic concepts from the fundamentals to specialization. Okay, so again, we are not telling like you can't choose for network VAPT. If you are very thorough, if you want to, if you are already into network, you can opt for network VAPT, and also you can choose other things. So if you enroll now, if you there is a certain period, I think Saurabh might give you information about it later. But if you opt for these courses, if you try to register these courses in certain period, you can get some of the free courses we provide, which is a CEH. Certified ethical hacking course and bug hunting essential course, which combined together it's around 20K. Okay, so we're gonna give the cyber fusion course, and along with that we'll be giving you these courses for free. So you can offer the 6 months training and internship program, which is not just training. You'll have internship. You can work on the real projects as well as you're learning on it. So it'll be simultaneous. It's not internship, then sorry, it's not training, then internship. So it'll be side by side. You'll be provided with the training materials. You can work on the training, you can work on the domains, and along with that you can work on the real projects. So this is what we have planned for 6 months. You can opt for it. You can visit this link. We'll give you information about it more. And for registering now, we have provided this QR code and also the link. You can visit this, and you can register now about this course. And I think Saurabh will be able to give you more information about it. So I'll hand over this to Saurabh.
Yes, Dheeraj, thanks for the introduction about the training program that we have. Very interesting and advanced training program that we have. Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys, as you can see in the chat, I have already shared you a link for the Google form. I would request you all guys to just go there, fill out that form if you are interested in doing and joining advanced cybersecurity training program and want to upskill yourself. You can be in, let's say, from IT background and you are looking to upskill yourself in the field of cybersecurity, then I would request you guys to at least try for the cybersecurity. If you have some interest, you can try it out. Just fill out that Google form, and what will happen once you fill out that Google form, we will give you additional 2 courses worth 20,000 for free, along with our main training program. So main training program will have its own cost, but once you pay, you'll be paying for just one training program, but we'll be giving you 3 training program. That is one, our main cyber fusion training program. Then second, we have bug hunting training program, and third, we have certified ethical hacking training program. Those 2 training programs, bug hunting and ethical hacking, they cost around 20,000. So you will be getting that for completely free with no added extra cost. So to apply for that, you can go to that Google form link that I have just shared in the chat. So just go and fill it. And yes, once you fill that up, our course advisors will reach out to you probably next week, Monday or Tuesday. They will reach out to you and yeah, continue with the rest of the process. So, and I just wanted to update you guys, this offer of two additional courses that you'll be getting for free is just till midnight. There are no extra days. So if you are interested, fill it right now. Okay, later you won't get the chance. Okay, because today itself the offer will be over exactly at 12 a.m. Okay, so as soon as it's 9th November, the offer will be over and you won't be able to again opt for this offer. Okay, so do register for it as soon as possible. Okay, I'll give you just 2 more minutes, guys. Okay, at exactly at 8 p.m. we will begin with our scheduled Q&A session. So just wait for that. Okay. Manasa Pambi has quite added a comment saying, "Thank you so much for providing overview on network pen test tools." So we are glad, Manasa, so that you like the information that Dheeraj has provided. I would request you to stay till the Q&A session as well. Yes. Uh, Parnesh, greetings, sir. I had a significant doubt whether you are providing any intern come job letter or intern come offer letter for the current degree pursuing college students who are joining in the intern training program, whether the letter will be provided before or after program of payment of intern trainee joining. So see, any sort of certificate that you will be getting, be it for internship completion and the training program completion, it will be only after you complete the 6 months tenure for the training program. Okay. So yeah, any software or tools available for writing report writing. Srinivas, I think this question pertains to Dheeraj, so he will be much more appropriate to answer that. So I'll leave it for him. Thank you for the information. Okay, guys, 1 minute remains. Okay, if you are interested, I would again request you guys to fill up that Google form. The offer is just till today, midnight. Okay, after that, you guys won't be able to get this offer outside this webinar. Okay, we might have a webinar next month in which we will again reopen this offer, but till that 1 month, you won't have any new offers. Okay, so make use of this offer, and yeah, I'm again sharing the link. So yes, guys, anybody who's interested in the starting up their cybersecurity career, this is the one of the best chances you can get started with. Vijay, yes, you can join internship as well, but for that we have a qualifying criteria. You need to clear some stages for us to take you as an intern in our company officially. So yes, if you want to apply for a internship in our company, you can visit our website, go to our internship page, and apply from there. Okay, so yes, if you want to just enroll in the internship, you can do that. So Punitha has asked, sir, can you repeat about the payment we have to do for this course? Punita, so regarding the payments, I would request you to get in touch with our course advisors. So once you fill up this form, let's say you have filled this form, you were interested, what will happen? Our course advisors will get in touch with you and reveal the course prices. Okay, we tend to not disclose our course prices because we otherwise, this is because of the competitors, honestly. So yes, any questions you have regarding the course prices, it will be answered by our course advisors. Intern come job offer letters. Pranesh, again, that is question is for course advisors, I would say. Okay. Dheeraj, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Shall we begin the
Uh,
Q&A?
yes. I think we can begin with the Q&A session. Most of the people who are interested, users who are interested in the training program has already filled the form. Okay, so I think we can begin. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
this just last thing. If you have still not filled up the form, I request you to fill it. Okay. And yes, Dheeraj, over to you. You can begin with the Q&A session.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'll be addressing some all the questions in Slido one by one. And I'll also address the questions in chat later. So first we'll finish with the Slido. So I have a question called what's the career opportunities for pen tester and SOC analyst which one is better and which has more scope. So penetration testing and SOC both has opportunities, okay, equal opportunities. It's that what they cover, what they do. And if you are a beginner, I would suggest you go for SOC. And if you are into pen testing, if you are into offensive security attacks and testing different options, then I would suggest you go for pen tester. As per the scope, both has a brilliant scope. You can go for both. And next is, what is OWASP 10 in cybersecurity? So it's a list of vulnerabilities which are prominent, and it will be updated 4 years, per 4 years. And after 4 years, it will be updated again based on the trends and latest vulnerabilities and prominent vulnerabilities identified in those 4 year range. And okay, what tools should I learn to do network pen testing? First is I prefer you work on the Kali Linux tool and Kali Linux machine. And in that, you'll have all the tools present in it. Some of the tools listed here, you can work on them, you can practice on them. That will be the basic tools which you can do. And if you go to Kali Linux, you'll have list of categories. Okay, you'll have specific for wireless pen testing, you'll have specific for password cracking, you'll have specific things for scanning, enumeration, everything. So based on that, you can work on those tools. Should I shift my career from network engineer to network pen testing? What are the pros and job opportunities for network pen test considering present and future? So I think I have covered few of the concepts related to that. You can switch from network engineer to network pen testing if you are trying to switch from IT to cybersecurity, because you have all the knowledge which are required already. Okay, so you can just learn different techniques, you can just learn different tests, and if you're really interested, you can go about it. And yeah, it has the future, as I have already told. It is required for all the organizations. They need to do the audit, they need to keep their network secure, infrastructure secure. Everything comes under network. So if you, even if you have a server which runs a web application, that server itself comes under network, right? So you need to have a network VABT done for your organization, done for your company all the time and regularly. So this is very important now and in the future. So you can go about it. No worries. I'm working as a CS engineer, trying to shift towards network CS. Again, what you need to learn is basic concepts I have covered, and fundamentals about networking and different operating systems, devices, how they work. And after that, you can learn about cybersecurity, go for pen testing, and learn about it. So I think this answers the same question previously, but this is what it will do. You can go for it. Okay, what is the time period in which a beginner can become a brilliant certified ethical hacker? Okay, so it depends on each person. Okay, if you're really interested, you can work about it. You can work about it in 6 months to 1 year and get everything done. But again, it depends. Okay, because everything depends on what you know, how much you know, how thoroughly you know. Okay, so every day there are different vulnerabilities identified, vulnerabilities present. It can be exploited in different techniques. So you need to know about these things. And main thing is, if you know whether you can research and whether you can develop yourself. If you can improve your skills, then you can go about it. And yeah, if you're a genius, you can get it in 6 months to 1 year. And it might take some time, but if you put effort, you can cover it later also. What are the best career opportunities for pen tester and bug hunter? Which one is better, and which has more scope? So it has different categories. all has the same scope as my previous answer, because each have different roles, right? Each have different roles in cybersecurity, and nowadays everything is digitalized. So cybersecurity is very important. Anything you choose in cybersecurity will have scope. Okay, so opportunities for a pen tester and bug hunter, I would prefer a security analyst. You can develop your skills in there. You can again, since you are a penetration tester, you can again become penetration tester in any of the companies they take you for performing VAPT, and again you can go for uh, monitoring. You can go for companies where they have qualis, nesses, and other tools for PCI DSS. As I have already explained about ASV scans, you can go about it. You can monitor there, but your job role will be different, but your position will be analyst. Okay, so these are the things you can go. You can also become a security consultant, where you work on the projects, where you give security consultation for the clients, and other things. Okay. How can I secure a position in a well-reputed company, either as an intern or full-time? I have been trying hard to get selected by such companies. So first thing I prefer is develop your skills. Try to approach them through your skills, what you know, and not just everything comes under the CV. Okay, don't generalize your CV. Add specific things to it. Add your skills, add your strengths, and which are specific for what you're looking for. If you're looking for network pen testing, you should add things related to that. If you're interested in web application, you should add things related to that. So develop your skills and add specific things, specific contents in your CV, and approach them like this, and I'm sure you can get this. Okay. Okay, if I enroll in your course, how will you assist me in finding a job? So what we do here, after you complete the course, we have mentors. We have a coordinator who will be coordinating with you for everything every month, and wherever you require us. And we provide guidance. We have a community present. We'll be posting different job roles in that. We'll try to guide you using compliance, GRC, and will help you in developing your CV. We'll also suggest you, if you're working very hard, we'll suggest you to our clients, or anyone who's asking us for the uh, openings. Okay, so we'll be having list of openings, so we'll be uploading and updating about them regularly, so you can try there. And if we want someone specific who's working on some specific domain, then we'll suggest them. So this is how we are going to help you in finding, or finding a job. Okay. Okay. How do you try to exploit new vulnerabilities that came in Nessus? So some vulnerabilities might not be having any exploit in Nessus, okay, or any other automated tool. So you need to look for what vulnerability it is. You'll have its name, you'll have details about it, and you can learn about it in any media, and you can work around it. And let's take an example. Okay, let's say one of the service has some RCE present, but they don't have any information about it in Nessus. But if you know the techniques of performing RCE, different methods to try RCE, test RCE, then you can work around it. Then you can perform these tests manually, and then you can confirm about it. So this is how you should go. So if there is any vulnerability present in any automated system, any automated tools, you have to do manually. You have to test them manually, and then you can confirm it. Okay. And how do you stay current with the new vulnerabilities, exploits, and attack techniques? So one is, as I have already told in learning purpose, you can go for CTFs, competitions. You learn more things there, and you can offer different courses, certifications, and also you need to practice. You can set up your own lab, like where you have different machines, new machines. If there is an update coming in any of the operating system, try to install it in any of the devices virtually. If you have the device separately, if you can spare, you can have it present there. You can create your lab and try practicing there. So that's how you can improve, and that's how you can learn. And main thing you can do is research on it. Try to research online, try to research on social media, try to be active in social media like LinkedIn, or you can go for different blogs which are specific. You can work on them, and using that you can improve yourself and keep updating yourself. So computer service center employee can, after changing, want to become a cybersecurity and security analyst engineer. Is it possible? Yes. So if you are interested, as I've already told, if you are interested and you want to uh, uh, get a job in one of the fields in cybersecurity, then you can go for it. It's all about interest, and whether you can put up some effort in it. If you keep practicing, then only you can develop your skills, and only if you develop your skills, then only you can offer any of the technical jobs. So if you can do that, then you can opt for it. Which is the best and highest paid career option in cybersecurity field? So it depends. Okay, there is no such thing as uh, one role is higher than the other. It all depends from each company to another company, their roles and what they're doing, what their product is, or what their service is. So when you opt for any job, when you're looking for a job, and if you get any offers or if you get any queries, then ask them what their job role is, and through that you can identify what highest job role is present. Okay. So there are like analysts, pen testers, consultants, and other things which are common. So you can choose anything, and all of these has different levels. So it's not like a analyst is second to the consultant, or consultant is highest, something like that. Everything has levels like L1, L2, L3, so on, and other levels in them. So you can go about it, and if you develop your skills, if you have different technologies, now if you are thorough in that particular field, then you can go for it. Okay, how can I secure a position in a well reputed company? Either. Okay, already answered that. Difference between VA and VAPT. Do we need to attack and give a POC in VAPT to client, and in VA only? But okay, I think main thing you want to know is what is the difference between VA and VAPT. Okay, so in VA, you don't have to perform the exploitation, and you don't have to give other testings, which we have done in the later part of the session. Okay, you can stop at vulnerability analysis, where you go about online and get CVEs and scan and confirm whether they are present or not. You can also go for automated scanning and gather more information there, and then analyze it and give it as a VA report. And if you are performing exploits, trying all these tests and checking what level they are in, what impact they carry, then it will be VAPT. So this is the main difference. And whatever you do, even in VA, you have to give the POC to the client, or proof of concept, because that's the main important in the important thing in the report. Uh, where you're providing you know a proof that you have done these testings and you have performed the testings. So that's why whatever you do, whatever field you're in, you have to provide the POC in the report. That's the main thing, and that is how the report will have a weight. What does privilege escalation part do in network BAPT? So it has to do in escalating the vulnerabilities. Okay, so let's say you have found a vulnerability in a lower level user, but you want to test that vulnerability applies for a higher level user as well, like a super doer or a root user, because your root user can do anything in the system and everything in the system. So if that particular user has that vulnerability, the impact will be more than having a low level user who's having many restrictions. Okay, so that's why you need to perform the privilege escalation and see if it's possible, so that you can elevate the impact of that particular vulnerability. What steps do you take to ensure the tests you run don't disrupt the client's network? So what we do basically is get the consent from the client. Whenever we are running heavy tests, we approach them and update them that we are running heavy scannings and they should be aware of it. And they'll try to have some time period where we can perform the scanning, or they will arrange something so that we can perform the scanning. So this is how it will go. And I think this is what is main. And I think it will apply for all the testings and all the scannings, so that we are not causing any disruption in whatever the client is doing. Okay. So how do you find new payloads to exploit new vulnerabilities? So again, it depends on the learning. Okay, so I have mentioned about Python, to know about Python in penetration testing. So if you know that the basic things about any language where you can develop a tool, or develop a script which will be using as per your commands, then you need to then you can develop new exploits or develop new scripts or payloads for that. So having basic understanding of any language where you can develop a tool is very important, or develop a script. Okay, now we'll go for the chat. If there are any other things in the chat, we'll answer that. Okay, network penetration tester. Do we need to test routers, switch, firewalls? Yeah, we have to test for them, because we have covered these devices. We have mentioned these devices in the scope of the network pen testing. So since these devices, or any device which is in the network, which is connected to the network, we have to perform testings on them. We have to perform tests for routers, switch, firewalls. It can be IoT, it can be other devices. So the steps will be different. The steps might be a little bit different than what we have covered here. The tools might be different, but the basic concept methodology will be same. Okay. Whether you're providing any intern come job letter or intern come offer letter for the current degree pursuing college students who are joining in intern trainee program, whether the letter will be provided before or after the payment of intern trainee joining. Okay, so the process will be like this. When you enroll, we provide offer letter where we mention about the internship duration and that you have enrolled in it, and the completion certificate, the experience, and every other documents will be provided after you complete the 6 months internship. Okay, then only you can get the internship experience letter. So okay. Any software or any software tool available for writing reports. So if you are performing automated scanning, it will generate a report. It can be Qualys, Nessus, it can be any other tool. So it will generate a report. So you don't have to worry about report there. And in Kali Linux, there are reporting tools as well. Okay. At the time, I'm not recalling the name, but you can check into Kali Linux and see what are the different tools for reporting specifically. And you just have to give your inputs there and you can get the reports. Okay. Okay, is there any possible chance of joining an internship instead of taking course? Yeah, you can do that. We do provide internship only. What you have to do is you have to go through the steps of interview, and if you crack it, you can be the intern. Okay, so you can work on the projects. You don't have to go for the training. Then you can work around it. You'll be given projects. You'll be given work and you have to work on it, and it'll be very strict. So you have to keep working, keep practicing, and then you have to keep updating on this. Okay. So this is about internship. Okay. So sir, is there any live classes daily or recorded? So we are combining those two aspects. Okay, we have some recorded contents and we have some live sessions. So we are making sure that we'll clarify all your doubts for all the recording sessions, which will be live doubt clearing sessions. And after that, for specialization, we'll be providing all the live sessions only. And also you'll get all these contents after the session is done. Okay. Job offer letter depends on the openings. Okay. If we have openings and if we are uh, uh, if we know that you're working on things properly and like we want, like the requirement, then we can look for it, or else we'll help you in getting job in any of the connections. Okay, so are we going to use the enterprise version of tools while practicing and lab sessions conducted on cloud or on our own laptops? So when you're testing, you're going to use your laptop. You're going to have your set of tools, labs, and everything set up in there. And you're going to practice there and you're going to perform your testing there. And as per the enterprise versions, it depends. Okay, so if we don't require enterprise versions, which is most of the time, we can work around everything in Kali Linux and tools which are present in different online open sources. We can work around it. So we make sure that we work around those tools first and then go for enterprise if it's really required. Okay, commands is mainly useful for firewall. Okay, I want to ask that what commands is mainly useful for firewall. Okay, so there are different tools for firewall itself, but first thing we do is use Nmap or any other tool which do the network mapping, scanning, and then only we go for other tools. So there are specific tools like firewall, and again there is no such thing as a set of tools which are specific for firewall. Okay, so what we try to do is different vulnerabilities. We are trying to detect them, and whatever tool is helpful in that, we're gonna work around it. If we want to check the access, then we go for telnet, nessus. Telnet, Netcat, and other things. If we want to look for any services hosted in them, then we go for that. Okay. Okay, again, about the salary package for pen tester, it depends on what level you are in. Okay, so if you're in the higher levels, L2, L3, or other things, then you can get a better salary. If you are in the basic thing, if you are in the entry level, then it goes from there. Okay, so it will be like that. Okay, is cybersecurity safe in AI era? So I don't understand your question here, like what you're trying to imply, but let's just assume that you're asking whether AI era is better for manual testing or for analysts. If you're saying that, then yes, because even we use AI tools, we try to get more information. We try to work around our tools and techniques using AI because it will be helpful. It will be providing more or I can say fastest results than we when we do those things manually. So that's why we use AI, and I think that's how it goes. We can use the tools. AI is also another tool, so we can use those tools and develop our skills and make our things easy. Whatever we do, we can do those things easier and faster. Okay. I think I have already told about experience in different domains. You can switch to another domain if you have the basic knowledge. If you are in the same field, like IT field, you can switch there. Uh, Again, I have answered this previously about pen testing and SOC. So both have scopes because both cover different aspects of cybersecurity, which is very important. So you can opt for anything. If you're interested, you can go for anything. Okay, 2 years of experience in infrastructure and wish to switch to cybersecurity. Yeah, I think this is the same thing as I have told. You can go about it. You can take different courses. You can take our specialization itself. You can work on it if you develop your skills in that, because you already have the understanding of different concepts, which will be covered. Then you can choose those things, develop your skills, and you can get better in that. Okay. CHF5, but when I go for my first interview of cybersecurity, I got practice nothing, and I can't remember what I learned. Okay, so if you even if you have the certificates, you should have skills. You should practice daily and regularly. You shouldn't stop practicing, because if you stop practicing, then you will forget about it. Okay, so you have to practice, then only you can work around. Okay, what would be the time for the class? We have sessions in the evening because there can be different candidates who are enrolling. Like there can be, sorry, yeah, there can be employees and there can be students. So we have an ideal time of 4 p.m. Where most of the candidates can join. What is the time duration of recorded classes, and is it recorded classes available for limited time? So we have recorded sessions, recorded videos based on the topic. Okay, but we are trying to keep it simple and smaller in size, so that you can work around each specific topic and move forward. And there is no limited time. If you enroll to the course, then you'll have lifetime access, so you can access those things anytime. Okay, I think these are the questions. Let me just check the chat once. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it from all the questions. I hope I have answered all the questions you have posted. And I think, Saurabh, you can take it up from here.
Yes, Dheeraj, thanks a lot. And guys, this will be it for this webinar. Okay, I hope you guys had a time filled with a lot of information, lot of advanced information, I would say. Okay, so yes, finally, guys, I would like to remind you that I have shared a link in the chat itself. I'll share that again here, okay, in the chat. And I would like to remind you that till mid PM, you have the chance to apply for the training program and the offers. After that, there will be no any second chance till next month, or I'm not sure it will be in the next month also. But yes, you can still apply for the offer and get those three courses at just one course price. Okay, so do apply for it. I've just shared that link, and yes, guys, that's it. And in WhatsApp also, I'll be sharing a one feedback link. So if you found this webinar helpful, if you liked it, even a single bit, if you liked what Dheeraj have shared and what all queries he answered, then I would request you to fill out that feedback form so we understand what are the requirements and what all improvements we have to make and what you liked about the webinar. So do fill out that feedback form as well. So yeah, that's it. Dheeraj, if you have any last words to say here for this webinar, then you can, yeah, over to you.
Yeah, sure. I think I have answered most of the questions. If you have any queries, please reach out to us. Give us the feedback so that we can improve ourselves and so that we can give more and advanced topics and advanced content to you. So yeah, that's it. I hope everyone does well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dheeraj. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining and keep an eye in the group. I'll be sharing all the helpful links. So just keep an eye. Okay, guys. See you there. And it was good. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Dheeraj.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Saurabh.